My first impression, I thought my mother didn't want me. And it just hit me hard like that. But when I got in the bus and I sat down, I looked, and she was just crying. It was hurting her, too. It was hurting me to see that. I'll never forget. All the mothers were crying.
It wasn't really about education. We didn't really learn English, basic English or math.
All right, Shalom, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Barakathum, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. This is Ainaya Allah and
Yahweh Kanan.
Yahweh Kanan. This is it's like
Little
Fort Judah and GMS, the Beloved Truth. And this is a continuation of the book My Heart is on the Ground. All right, the diary of Nanny Little Rose, a Sioux girl, and we're just basically continuing in her diary to to show you the comparing and contrasting from her native ways, all right, and the scriptures, how it lines up in that is parallel. Okay, this is February 4th. It says, today we buried Horus, a watchful fox. It says, the ground was very hard and cold. I know some of the boys and girls wanted to tear their garments, cut their hair, cover themselves with mud. Oh wow. It says, and slash at their arms because the death angel took Horus. But we were made to stand in citizens' clothing, clean and quiet, no fearful wails, but songs of praise to him who giveth and him who taketh life. All right, so now it's a couple points in here, all right, which further proves that the Native American Indians, they kept the ways of the scriptures spiritually. And I want to get a precept real quick. This is Romans chapter 8, verses 16. It says, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right. And that spirit was, they basically kept those ways. Those customs are parallel to what the Israelites were doing in their culture, or well, our culture, because things have never changed. We just lost our way, basically. So I got Esther here for you after Nehemiah. It's like that. Because what they got now, we got agent provocateurs and people that literally well, I just call them antichrist, people that fight against the scriptures. All right, so they, they got people like Henry Louis Gates. He come out with this whole thing about DNA, and they can track basically our ancestors of where we come from, which that's a hunk of bull crap, man. And they just got campaigns that basically go against the truth coming out. And the truth is that the Native Americans are, the lost tribes of Israel. Okay.
This, my friend,
so because one of the things that they got out there is that the Indians are, the Native American Indians are like Indians. I mean not Indians, but it's like more descent from Moabites or descent from Ammonite, and that's the biggest, basically, the biggest lie, one of the biggest lies that's out there today. Okay.
Yeah, because that goes back to that science that it was 3 type of man.
Yeah.
The white man, the yellow man, and the black man.
It's disinformation, basically. So I'll read this point again on page 44, February 4th of her diary. It says, "Today we buried Horus watchful fox. The ground was very hard and cold. I know some of the boys and girls wanted to tear their garments and cut their hair, cover themselves with mud, all right, and slash at their arms because the death angel took Horus, all right."
Good job.
So I got Esther chapter 4 verses 1. And I want to say something, but Lord willing to come back to me. Let's see.
Yeah, because it's just an account in there showing how they do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. The thing I wanted to say is that's how ancient scholars cross-reference their intel when it comes to archaeology or studying cultural groups. What they'll do is they'll take certain cultures in their life, whatever merits or morals that certain cultures have, they cross-reference it. And that's how they basically can, they cross-reference it with another culture to see how similar those cultures are, and to identify certain cultures by way of referencing or cross-referencing by certain things that's done in their culture. So, and basically it's the same thing we're doing. All right. So this is Esther, the book of Esther, chapter 4, verses 1. It says, "When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry." All right, and it shows you clearly that her ancestral ways, the North American Indian ways, are parallel to what the Bible is speaking about. So that's how we know, also by faith, that that we are the children of Israel. Okay. Specifically, we're dealing with Gad right now. So, verses 2, it says, "And came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth, and in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews," which it's talking about Israel. And that ain't nothing but a proverb, all right? So it says, "And fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes," all right?
See? And that's why she knew that that's how the little Saxon girl Sue wanted to do that, and she knew that the man wanted to do that.
Right.
Because they all got the same custom, even though you got different Indian tribes there at the same school, she knew that all them young boys from whatever tribe they was from all had the same custom.
Right.
Which actually come out the scripture. I'll let you done. I got how long you supposed to wait.
Oh yeah, you can bring it in. That's done. It's done right now.
Okay, this Ecclesiasticus 22. I'm gonna start at 11. Weep for the dead, for he has lost the light, and weep for the fool, for he wanted understanding. Make little weeping for the dead, for he is at rest. But the life of the fool is worse than death. 7 days do men mourn for him that is dead, but for a fool and an ungodly man all the days of his life. So that was it. So we even given a certain time period that we supposed to even mourn, which was 7 days, because you have certain people that go into mourning and go into shock and go into depression.
And it lasts a lifetime. And
Yeah.
people die from depression.
Yeah, mess up their whole family, because they can't. Tammy did that when her mother Marie died, which is my aunt. Tammy was mourning for like 3 months, and they was like, she don't want to take no shower. Like, what we gonna do with her?
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like, Money told me she going home with her father. She good. Told me to watch out. I said,
Right. So like the brother said, man, you're only supposed to mourn for a certain amount of time, and that's what the North American Indians knew, which is Gad. Stop calling them North American Indians. It says, I'll continue on page 44. It says, but we were made to stand in citizens' clothing, clean and quiet, no fearful wails, but songs of praise to him who giveth, and him who taketh life. I do not know which way is better. We Indians know death. We do not fear it. See, and we don't fear it. The Israelites didn't fear death because we knew, we ultimately knew what
yeah, we going to another realm.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is with our ancestors. So that was like a glorious thing.
Yeah.
But once they took our heritage and our culture and our nationality from us, the white man now got us afraid of death because of what he has taught us. And he training them right then.
Yeah. Yep, so I read this again. It says, we Indians know death. We do not fear it. But I fear the way he was buried. Horus will never find his way to the Great Spirit. All right, and they reference the Most High as a Great Spirit. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 7. It says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. All right, so ultimately they knew that, they had that understanding. And the reason why, they put dust on their head, because we are from the dust. Okay. And I believe it mentioned they wailed in fear. It's the same thing. The same thing we did. Okay. So let me see. Okay,
I hate to keep hitting on this point,
okay,
but they actually lied on our people, because I watched a lot of documentaries, and they used to say how Gad used to pray to these different gods and to sun gods, right? And I used to think that when I used to watch the white man documentary of Gad, they said that Gad was a sun worshiper, right?
Right.
Which they lied like a motherfucker on that. Because when you said Great Spirit, that hit a mark with me real quick. I'm gonna show you motherfuckers. See that? The Cherokee people, right? See, we got our shit. We don't know what y'all doing. Now I'm finna show you that they didn't worship no goddamn sun god. Watch, here it is right here. See that? Ancient religious belief. We gotta show motherfuckers the whole thing down.
Yeah.
Page and everything. 141. Motherfuckers better start reading around this motherfucker. Now watch this. Just this little top part, you gonna see it. Cause see how I put the Great Spirit. It's right there.
All right, this is ancient religious beliefs. It says, writing in 1701, William Bartram said the Cherokees were by no means idolaters. It says the Cherokees were by no means idolaters, unless their puffing tobacco smoke toward the sun and rejoicing at the appearance of each new moon be so interpreted so far from idolatry were they that they had no religious image among them, or any idolatrous religious rite or ceremony that he could observe. Instead, they adored the Great Spirit, whom they described as the giver and taker away of the breath of life with the most profound and respectful homage.
See that? And that's the Spirit.
And that, but when you go into the scriptures, you understand the Most High is saying in the scriptures, he the one that giveth life and he the one that taketh away. So, but it shows you how close our people were spiritually to the Most High, because they were the people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you just put it down. We'll clean it up later.
So, all right, so we're going to move along. This is February 6th, all right. Page 45, it says, again, it is the Sabbath, so I have more time to tell of my past. All right, it says when we, and another thing it mentioned before I even go on, it says, it mentioned the new moons. So they had the understanding of how the months rolled in the new moon by way of the new moons, all right?
They understand the lunar.
Yep, they understand the lunar calendar.
So Esau brought them the Gregorian from Pope Benedict.
I think.
No, not Pope Benedict. I keep on forgetting the faggot name. Pope Gregory.
Yeah, Pope Gregory.
So,
yep.
which is the westernized calendar.
Yeah.
Which today is this shit.
Under the Roman Empire with that satanic vibration.
Yeah, bring in Easter and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it says Genesis 49. Yeah, because that, like we mentioned before, it all goes back to the curses, all right, and and all the curses come by way of prophecy. You know, they just, it was said aforetime, it just came to pass in a different time. So let me see. So this is Genesis 49 and 1, and this is what this is our forefather Jacob. All right, the Israelites. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and bear ye, and hear ye, sons of Jacob, hearken unto Israel your father. Verse 19, it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. That's why the teacher was bringing up, you killed Custer. And that's why them little girls and boys is at them boarding schools, because they have actually been overcame by the blue coats.
That's right. Right there, that's how we know for a fact, Gad is Gad. The North American Indian is Gad, because the troop overcame them, the American cavalry, so to speak. Okay, so
yeah, because to take people kids for 10 years and indoctrinate them to your speech, your clothes, your way of living on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis, you had to overcome them people.
That's right. So this is February 22. Yeah, because I believe that's all you have.
Yeah.
So February 22nd, page 55, it says, today is a holiday, the birthday of the white people's great father, George Washington. Graybeard told us about the Boston Tea Party. The Americans dressed like Indians and threw all the tea in the water. It says, then the English king got very angry and sat for a long time. Then he told his soldiers, go and fight those Americans. Bring me their scalps. So his warriors went out and there was a revolution. Washington was a great chief of the Americans. The war lasted 8 years, and the soldiers of the king lost their scalps, and the Americans won and made Washington their great father because he could not tell a lie. Which that's crap itself too.
Right, because George Washington was a goddamn Mason.
Right.
He was a part of a Masonic Order.
Mm-hmm.
You got the book Satan Angel Exposed. They got the nigga on there showing fully dressed.
Right. And the Masonic cult.
Yeah. So he was all a part of this web of this secret society group with Adam Weinsap to bring in, which is right there. It's under that those books. Well, it's under that my thing I wear outside on the table. My little ear thing that I be wearing is right up under there. The Satan Angel Exposed. Yeah, this motherfucker was a part of Adam Weinsap coming over here in 1776, May 1st, to actually push all those lies out that he's this great hero, and they declared themselves from the king, the monarchy. But if England into a democratic system, then why do they got a parliament and a monarchy?
That's right.
That's because they the kings and they run this place over here, America. I don't know what page that nigga on. I think he had to get in. He really ain't have to show his old monkey ass.
Okay, well, yeah, he is a Mason because, like the brother was saying, him and Adam Weishaupt, they helped bring in the hidden government, which basically owned all the banks.
Right.
So all that. All your the valuable money out of circulation.
Yeah. Cause I don't know where that shit at. So then you keep going. Cause I got been on. Which here go Adam Weinsap. Right here.
Is that the dude? Is he sitting down? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just got a picture of him right there. That's why I said Adam Weinsap left, founder of the Order of the Illuminati in 1776 as the secret organization. That's what he was a part of.
So,
and here go George Washington. It's on page 136. So say George Washington wearing how you say this?
apron?
Regalia, as a member of the Mason, led the cornerstone of the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C., 1793. So that's what all this was about. To give you people lies to think that it was a revolution from Britain and the Boston Tea Party and the Indians threw the shit in there as to mock the Kings of England to start a theater war. One of your first ones. Get that shit out of here.
Right. So, this is Ezekiel chapter 22, verses 1. It says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Now, thou son of man, wilt thou judge? Wilt thou judge the bloody city? Yea, thou shalt shew her all her abominations.
And that's what we actually doing today by bringing out these Illuminati sects and these wicked men that y'all has taught our people from when y'all took Gad down to us today, from bringing us over here on the west coast of Africa, of these great men like George Washington. And that's why they own the dollars and shit.
It says, Then say thou, Thus said the Lord God, the city sheddeth blood in the midst of it, that her time may come, and maketh idols against herself to devour herself.
Exactly, because you got the Washington Monument, and what else you got? You got the phallics. What's that? That's the Washington Monument.
Yeah, the Washington Monument. What else they got?
The White House itself is shaped as an owl.
That's right. The infrastructure, how it's made, the architecture. It's all Illuminati based.
Yeah.
It's all symbolism. You know, it's all satanic symbolism that goes back to, you know, who they worship.